Hey, everybody, and welcome back with more Dicing with Death. Ryan, what are you doing?
I'm gonna plop down at the bar in Cho's Tavern and order up a nice pot of Chihuahua meat.
All right. They bring out a little bit of a little dog, chop its head off, and toss it in a stew pot for you and tell you it'll take a few minutes. Um,
Only in America, right?
so now what? Now that you got your Chihuahua meat cooking,
Um, I think I'll just turn to whoever's next to me at the bar and say, "So, I heard you got a witch in town," and hope that I don't get in trouble.
Miss Haven
Miss Haven, is that her name?
or Madam Haven for some people.
Madam Haven. She got a hut or a tower, maybe a tree fort.
She's got a little building in town. Warn you though, she is a witch. Sometimes people go in there and don't come out for days.
She run a storefront, an apothecary.
No,
What kind of where's this building you're talking about?
I mean, if you really wants to know, it's, three streets over on your left, take three rights, and, it's the place with the large tree that doesn't belong. It's coming out of the middle of the roof.
Tree that doesn't belong.
Oh,
Oh,
you can't miss it.
well, I will try to awkwardly transition into talking about something else and bumble through it, and then wind up just walking away awkwardly, ending the conversation,
Okay.
and head off in search of Madam Haven's place.
All right. You head a few streets over, take the couple of lefts and the rights and the blah, blah, blahs, and you do see this large, it looks like a mangrove tree or something, but it does not, like, there's no other trees like that here. You've seen them in the swamp, but you haven't seen those trees like since you've left Swampside.
Hmm, a swamp witch.
Yeah.
I will
The doors are,
consider.
her building is made out of stone and wood, and there's a thatched roof that kind of almost looks like it's growing out of the building. Like maybe there's a roof with dirt and then like live thatch or live hay growing on it. I don't know. There's stuff growing out of the thatch and it looks weird.
Hippies. I knock on her door.
A few moments pass and the door creaks open and this warm scented air blows out of it. It smells like incense and spices.
And a woman is standing before me.
An old crone kneels, or not kneels, but stands before you, kind of bent over. Her skin is dark, very dark, almost like it's been blackened by fire. Her hair is long and kind of matted together. Her teeth are rotted and her eyes are kind of darting back and forth. She, with a gnarled, kind of bent finger, beckons you inside and opens the door just enough for you to slip in.
I stick my quarterstaff in the snow out front and follow her inside.
You enter in. The
I
entire
hear
place is
birds.
hot. The building is hot. There are birds in little wicker cages hanging all over the place. There's this very humid feeling to the air here, and you notice that there's incense burning everywhere, giving it a very sweet and uh, kind of spicy scent. Not
Can
like
I roll a
salsa
nervous
spicy.
on the incenses? Maybe.
You'll have to go up and actually inspect them.
Can I, how long? I guess I'll spend a minute, sort of wandering
Okay,
after
so
her. Look, and then
uh,
I'll stop and look at one of the burning incenses
all right.
on my way.
She kind of walks inward without even saying anything and comes to a large rounded table. It's about 7 feet across and stands on the opposite side and goes, "You who've traveled so far, come and sit with me."
Uh, why, much obliged, madam. And I take a seat,
She sits
adjusting
across
my
from you.
book bag so that I can sit down.
She sits across from you and kind of wavers in her seat a little bit and says, "What is it that you come to know? Miss Haven knows much and more."
I came to know why the sky is falling.
Why the sky falls. The sky falls for many reasons. But first, your coin.
I thought that was coming. What'll it be?
How much do you wish to know?
Only everything, and I will slide her across the table a special silver coin, emblazoned with an encircled tree. I have no idea what the significance of this special silver coin is, but I found it, and I kept it, and I'm giving it to her now.
She picks it up and turns it over and quickly pockets it and says, "The sky falls for a great many reasons." And then she starts chanting and murmuring, and the
Oh, fuck.
light in the room kind of starts to flicker a little bit and just slowly dims until the only light is coming from her hands, which are outstretched onto the middle of the table. This warmish, yellowish light comes out from her, and the heat in the room gets a little bit hotter to the point that you're like starting to sweat and be very uncomfortable in the heat. Her eyes roll into the back of her head, and her gaze, I mean, if she had a gaze, like her head is fixed directly towards you. And she says, the skies fall because those with the power to make it so. To the north, and the Maw.
Well, that was quite the theatrics. The Maw.
Who are you to stop them?
Oh, you're lucid now? I have to look around. Is her spell still cat? Does it look
Oh, it's still going on. She seems just to be speaking.
My name is Fenric, and I do not intend to stop them. Well, we'll see.
There is an ancient artifact.
I pull out a sheet of papyrus and start prepping like a piece of ink for notes.
Okay.
Like jot down, cold, come from the north. Well, start.
There is
get caught up and then keep writing.
An ancient artifact that lies within the swamp. Glass formed into the shape of a ball. It moves the winds. It brings the cold. It creates the rain.
Why has no one harnessed this power? Or have they?
You are not as foolish as you look. The sky does not fall for no reason.
Well, I believe you have made this worth the trip.
You're not asking the right questions. It is not why or how the sky falls, but why.
Well, I think I got it figured out. Magical artifact that controls the weather. Power-crazed wizard in the swamp finds it and starts raining down hail.
Why?
I don't know. A little boy bit off more than he can chew.
Her eyes roll back to you and her hands start to fade. And maybe it's just your eyes were adjusting to like the glow intense from here, but it seems like the rest of the room lightens up. But maybe it was just like your eyes dilating and whatnot. Who knows? Mm-hmm. The heat in the room stays. You're actually like sweating from your brow now, and you're under your layers of clothing. It's uncomfortably warm. She pulls her arms back from the table and sits back in her chair. What do they call you, boy?
Fenric. I already introduced myself. Well, but I guess you don't remember?
Fenric. Fenric the Swamp Boy.
I look down my boots, see if I got mud on them. See if I look swampy. Well, looks like it's back to the marsh for me.
Perhaps.
And I'm like taking notes, thinking,
What do you intend to do with this knowledge, Swamp Boy?
well, it is an intriguing hint, but it is not knowledge. I suppose I must journey north and see this orb with mine own eyes.
Through the maw? You cannot make it so on your own. You are weak.
You are not kind.
Kindness does not bring victory. Honesty and strength does.
Of which I have neither. What then do you propose I do?
Miss Haven knows many things. She does not tell anyone what to do. Won't you stay a while? I have some tea prepared. And she gets up and like hobbles over towards through a beaded curtain and into a different room. Taking a moment to look around the room, you see that there is this beside the tree.
I followed after her, or is this she?
No. Just she leaves this room. Mm-hmm. You notice that underneath the beaded curtain, there are roots coming out. There must be some sort of tree on the other side of it. And from the outside, you did see like a tree growing through the roof.
Is this the strange tree that didn't fit?
Yeah, it's like a mangrove tree that doesn't fit with the pine forest. Yeah. Looking around the room, everything is made out of wood in here, but also it all sinks into the ground, almost as if it like grew out of the ground into the shape of the table that you're at.
Can I inspect the roots of the tree and see if I can like identify its species or anything?
Yeah, you go over. Give me. I mean, you grew up in the swamp. It looks like one of the mangrove trees that grows in the swamp.
Okay. But is the whole house made of it? Does it have any interesting properties that would...
I mean, the rest of the tree is on the other side of the beaded curtain. You'd have to push your way through to find out.
Mm-hmm. I'll slide a few beads aside and take a peek past the curtain.
It looks like the tree is growing out of the center, and that the branches form the what do you call them? The beams that hold up the roof. Mm-hmm. But the walls are not created by the tree.
Okay, I let the bead go and try to make it look like make it not obvious that I was peeking at her.
You glance around and you notice there's like a boa constrictor just sliding around on the ground, like starts to crawl over your foot and goes towards the beaded curtain.
I don't think I overreact, but I sort of nudge it off my foot and go back towards my seat.
Okay. You sit down, and she brings you some smelly tea, and sets a bird cage on the table as well, and pulls out from within her weird robes some little bits of food and starts feeding the bird.
Is the tea any good? Or I guess I wait.
It's an acquired taste.
Alright, so I sip some tea. Can I recognize what's in it? I keep trying to make herbalism checks and you shut me down every time.
I didn't shut you down. You've gotten everything that you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. What herbalism check have I shut you down on?
I mean, I was what kind of incense is she burning? Can I identify the tree and you just tell me or make something more interesting happen?
No, you identified the tree.
Without you didn't need an herbalism check.
You didn't need to.
Get the stinking proficiency.
So you could identify the star leaf.
Yeah. So I will ask Miss Haven, ma'am, do you partake in the pipeweed, starleaf?
She sniffs around. You don't have Starleaf with you. Show it to me.
I produce it from. I can assure you that I do. I produce the big bag of Starleaf from my
She brings it to her nose and sniffs it and goes,
flower.
and immediately pushes it away and says, "This is tainted. This is poisoned."
Is it laced? I take another look at it.
You get a closer look, and
I mean, if I recall, I passed my check, so
you
was
did.
pretty confident that I knew what it was. But
Yeah, it looks like Starleaf.
can I see any additions? Like, is it coated in anything? Soaked in anything? Look like a funny color? Does it have flakes of something else on it?
It seems to be rather sticky. Like, as you pick it up, like it almost sticks to your hands. You have to like shake it off of you.
Mm-hmm. Can I take a look at the sticky substance? Is it something else, or is it just particularly potent version?
It's some sort of a brownish, sticky sap-like thing. You're not sure what it is. Give me another herbalism check.
Yeah, or I can ask Miss Maven and advance my herbalist knowledge. RD20 plus 14. 22.
22.
What?
Yes, it is sap from a wereroot tree.
Wereroot?
Yes.
Is this someone's medicine to keep them from turning into a werewolf on the full moon?
No. No.
Do?
The wereroot tree is just a tree that grows. It produces some, small fruits that are not worth bothering to try and eat because of the amount of work that you have to get the seed out and eat the flesh, and they don't even taste that good. But the sap from a wereroot tree is highly poisonous. It is kind of a pain in the ass to use because it's so obvious when you use it, but it doesn't. And there's a slight weird smell to it, but it is very fast-acting poison that has it's how do I describe it? It has an onset time of a few days, but then once you get sick, you die within the day.
That could be useful.
Yeah.
Wereroot. Interesting. Well, that is good to know.
I would be careful of your source for this. It seems they want you dead.
It was not intended for me.
Then you have stumbled into something not meant for you.
Isn't that what I just said? I put the bag back in my pack. And say...
Your contact must be
They will be
pleased.
They will be. Some poor saps out there still alive. Oh well. This is good to know.
Tell the Brotherhood I send my regards.
The Brotherhood?
She pulls out that silver coin that you had before, sets it on the table, and spins it, and looks at you intently. Little swamp boy, you have walked into things that are beyond your understanding, it seems. Tread lightly.
Generally, yes. Would you mind telling me who this Brotherhood is? Or am I asking too much of the woman who knows everything?
It is not my place to get involved. I simply inform, and I wish to leave my friends alone. Goodbye, swamp boy. And she starts hobbling over towards the door.
Very well.
She opens it, and outside you see snow blowing in the wind.
I pick up my quarterstaff from the snow and head back towards my tavern that I've already paid for.
Okay.
Can't remember its name, but it was over on the other side of town. Presumably I can find it in the snow.
All right, you make your way back to the tavern. It was called the the Gold Republic, Gilded Republic,
Yep.
something like that.
And I will, go back to my bedroom and call it a night. Probably it's getting late.
Getting quite late indeed. The place is still fairly busy with lots of people hanging out by the fireplace. And you go to sleep in your room, which has like a nice little fire going in it.
Yeah.
And
So by
rest
the
comfortably.
firelight, I'm gonna continue writing summarize my conclusions.
It was
the
cold enough
process.
outside by the time you got back to the Gilded Republic that the sweat had formed icicles on your face or in your beard.
My scruff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get cleaned up and warmed up. And I have 4 sheets of papyrus, and I'll probably wind up filling those all up just with my just my explanation of what was going on with the weather.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably chronological, but then at the end, I'll maybe make my conclusions, maybe write an intro and make that as the front page, and just put together a little pamphlet that I'll probably go and give to that nobleman so that I can get some cash. Just explaining how I believe the source to be this magic orb somewhere in the maw. I speculate that there's an evil wizard controlling the weather. Warrants further investigation. And just explain what I.
Okay. And you give this to who?
No one. But I'm preparing it that night. I'll probably when I go back, if I get back to Marmon. Probably give it to the noble and demand cash.
All right. So then morning comes. What?
I call it Treatise on the Snow. Treatise on the Falling Sky. How about that?
Nice.
All right.
So, what now?
Now I think I may head back south the following morning.
Okay.
I'm interested in this snow orb, but I'm kind of thinking that the Madame Maven may be correct in thinking that I would get chewed to pieces by the maw. We'll see what I can. Maybe I should have asked her about those white bears. But I may go play with them on my way back south. But we'll see. So what do we want to do? Do we want to keep playing, or are we trying to?
This is
it's a good stopping point. We're still, What do you think?
Yeah, let's see. It's what? It must be 11 p.m. for you right now.
Yeah, I was planning on going later.
To 11 or later. This is a pretty good stopping point, I think, because nothing else we could wrap up in half an hour. We might be able to start a storyline in half an hour, but this is a good resting point.
Chat starts yelling and screaming that they had such a short session, but you know what? We take the scraps we give you. Just kidding. We love you guys.
Let me add up some experience for you.
I don't think I actually killed anything. I don't think I did anything.
No, but you
I sleuthed around a little bit, but
yeah.
I don't think I actually overcame anything in combat.
I'm going to give you 250 experience for opening quest lines and sleuthing and discovering. But that's about it.
Yeah. Alrighty. And I think that's about it. I'm still a long, long way from level 3, and it will take a lot of sleuthing to get there. So tune in next time to watch Fenric get chewed to pieces by Yetis.
All right. That's that. Pochi, sign us out, buddy.
Oh. Yep.
Okay. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.